With a ZeroStack cloud solution, it is true. You can in fact go from zero to cloud in 20 minutes. Let's demonstrate. In this example, our administrator is creating a ZeroStack ZBrain cloud account. This account will be responsible for joining new individual server nodes, also known as Z hosts, into the environment, as well as being the main account to interact with ZeroStack in case there are any support calls. Think of it as the master cloud account in your ZeroStack environment. After initial registration is complete, we'll get a command that we can run on every server node in order to join it to your ZeroStack cluster via a special registration code unique to your company. Next, we'll run the registration command on each node in the ZeroStack cluster. This binds its zCloud OS and unique hardware signature to your company's account. When the host registration is complete, all that is required is to log in to the ZBrain portal, claim the registered hosts, and finalize the configuration of the cluster. Next, let's create a region. A region is an identifier such as a portion of the country, a city, or a state, or whatever makes sense for your organization, under which we can create the clusters, also known in ZeroStack parlance as availability zones. We can see the 4 hosts that we registered, so we'll go ahead and claim them, combining them together into a single availability zone. Next, we'll go ahead and enter some IP address ranges for the functioning of the core components of the ZeroStack platform on premises. These would be the cluster network, also the management network for command and control information to go between the nodes, the VM tunnel network in order for VMs to talk amongst the nodes, and also a storage network for replication and storage traffic. Also, there's a cloud services IP for higher level management and orchestration. Next, let's configure the shared storage across all nodes of the cluster. As you can see, we have SSDs and hard drives inside of our ZeroStack availability zone. We also have standard capacity drives, or we can also provision some of the storage space to be replicated. In other words, multiple redundant blocks across storage nodes. Also, we can turn on S3 compatible object storage. We can adjust the amounts of storage. Next, we also set the name of the availability zone and region. You can have multiple regions, and you can have multiple availability zones inside of a region. However, an availability zone cluster can only be the member of one region at a time. Next, we'll create a cloud administrator. A cloud administrator is an individual account that can log in and have infrastructure-wide access to the ZeroStack availability zone. They can add new members to the availability zone, create new business units, create users, and also create VMs in their own rights. They can also delegate authority to different business units to new users. Think of it as a domain admin level account for the ZeroStack cluster. Finally, we'll review all of the input and selections that we made during this cloud creation phase. Note the IP address of the individual hosts, the storage configuration we created, the IP address of the subnets of all of the ZeroStack components that are needed to run, as well as the expected storage and VM capacity that will yield after creation. And now, let's create our ZeroStack cloud. When we click on Build Our Cloud, all the configurations are finalized across all of the nodes. The information is also relayed up to the ZBrain portal, so we'll remember the configuration of this availability zone for our company and be able to manage it hereafter. In our example, we're configuring a 4-node availability zone. It should take approximately 15 minutes to finish building. We can truly meet the metric of a cloud in under 20 minutes. You'll note no confusing software installs or arcane configuration commands to use. We stood up our cloud the ZeroStack way, powerfully yet simply. As we log into our newly formed cloud with our cloud admin account, we'll see that we have a fully developed environment, complete with individual ZeroStack Z-host nodes, memory, storage, virtual CPU, and we have command and control of our entire environment. Yet another example of the power and simplicity of ZeroStack.